Let me tell you something powerful. Life is full of seasons. Some bring sunshine and growth, others bring storms that shake us to our core. But every season has a purpose. And when God starts leading you into a new season, he gives you signs. Today, I want to share some of those signs with you because somebody here needs to know you're not stuck, you're being prepared. When God begins to lead you into a new season, one of the most noticeable signs is a sense of discomfort in the familiar. This discomfort doesn't happen randomly or without purpose. It's a deliberate stirring in your spirit designed to prepare you for something greater. Often it begins subtly, like a small unease in places where you once felt at home. Over time, this unease grows, becoming a clear signal that the time has come to move forward. It's not that the familiar place, job, or situation has necessarily changed, but rather that you've changed. God is working within you, and that internal transformation starts to clash with the external environment. Imagine being in a place you once loved, a workplace, a home, or a relationship that now feels constricting. What was once a source of joy, purpose, and comfort now feels like a weight holding you down. This isn't because those things are inherently bad, but because God is calling you to grow, and growth requires leaving behind what no longer serves his purpose for your life. It's as if your soul begins to outgrow the space it once occupied, and you can no longer remain there without feeling the tension of something greater pulling you forward. This discomfort often manifests in different ways. Sometimes it's emotional, a sense of restlessness or frustration that seems to come out of nowhere. You may find yourself questioning things that you never questioned before, wondering if there's more to life than what you've been experiencing. Other times it's physical. You feel drained or uninspired by the routines and tasks that once energized you. Even spiritually, you may notice a yearning for something deeper, a desire for more clarity and purpose that your current environment just can't fulfill. God uses this discomfort to get your attention. He knows that as humans, we're naturally inclined to settle into what feels safe and predictable. We cling to routines, environments, and relationships that make us feel secure. But the problem is, comfort zones rarely lead to growth. They're called zones for a reason. They have boundaries, limits, and restrictions. God's plans for you, however, are limitless. He doesn't want you confined to a space that can no longer contain the person he's shaping you to be. So he disrupts your comfort, not to punish you, but to propel you towards something greater. This stirring can be confusing at first. You might wonder if you're simply going through a phase or if you're doing something wrong. You might question why the things that once brought you so much happiness no longer have the same effect. But this isn't about failure or loss, it's about alignment. God is aligning your heart with his purpose. The discomfort you're feeling is his way of saying, it's time to move. It's time to grow. It's time to trust me. In this process, you might also notice a growing dissatisfaction with surface level things. The shallow conversations, repetitive tasks, or superficial relationships that once felt fine now leave you longing for depth. This is because God is calling you to a deeper level of faith and purpose. He's pulling you away from distractions and towards something that will truly fulfill you. The things that no longer feel right are part of a season that's coming to an end, and God is preparing you for a new chapter that requires more of you, more trust, more faith, more courage. It's important to recognize that this discomfort isn't meant to destroy you, but to refine you. Think about how a caterpillar feels in the cocoon. What once felt like a safe and secure home becomes tight, dark, and restrictive. But it's in that very discomfort that transformation happens. Without the cocoon, the caterpillar could never become a butterfly. Similarly, without discomfort in the familiar, you might never realize it's time to spread your wings and embrace what God has in store for you. Sometimes this discomfort can lead to conflict, not just within yourself, but with others. The people around you may not understand why you're no longer content with the status quo. They may even try to convince you to stay where you are, to settle for what's comfortable and predictable. But remember, their perspective is limited. They can't see the full picture of what God is doing in your life. This is why it's crucial to seek his guidance and trust his timing, even when others don't understand. Another way this discomfort shows up is through a loss of passion for things that used to excite you. You may find it harder to invest your energy in projects, relationships, or commitments that once felt meaningful. This isn't because you become lazy or ungrateful, it's because your spirit knows there's more out there. God is redirecting your focus, gently nudging you to let go of what's no longer serving His purpose for your life. This loss of passion is a sign that your priorities are shifting, aligning more closely with His will. It's also common to feel a sense of isolation during this time. As God begins to pull you out of your comfort zone, you may feel like you're walking a path that others can't follow. This can be a lonely experience, but it's also a necessary one. God often separates us from the crowd so that we can hear His voice more clearly. He removes distractions and influences that could hold us back, creating space for us to draw closer to Him and gain the clarity we need for the journey ahead. Discomfort in the familiar can also bring up fears and doubts. You might wonder if you're making a mistake by wanting something different. You might feel guilty for outgrowing people, places, or roles that once meant so much to you. But it's important to remember that growth is not betrayal. You're not abandoning anyone or anything. You're simply stepping into the next phase of God's plan for your life. It's okay to mourn what you're leaving behind, but don't let that mourning keep you from moving forward. In this season, God may also use circumstances to reinforce the discomfort. Maybe opportunities you once counted on start to dry up, or doors that were always open begin to close. These moments can feel discouraging, but they're actually part of God's plan to redirect you. He's making it clear that the time has come to move on, even if you're not entirely sure what's next. Trust that He's not just taking you away from something, He's leading you towards something greater. Discomfort in the familiar can be a challenging experience, but it's also a profound gift. It's God's way of showing you that you're ready for more. It's a sign that He sees your potential and wants to bring you into a season of growth, transformation, and purpose. This discomfort is a catalyst, pushing you out of complacency and into a deeper relationship with Him. It's a reminder that your story isn't over, that there's still so much more He wants to do in and through you. When God begins leading you into a new season, one of the most evident signs is that doors that were once open begin to close. These closed doors often come unexpectedly, leaving you questioning what went wrong or why things didn't work out as planned. You may have been moving forward with confidence, only to find the path blocked, opportunities lost, or relationships ending. At first glance, it can feel frustrating, even devastating. But when God closes a door, it is never without purpose. It is a deliberate act of divine intervention, a way of redirecting your steps towards something better. The process of encountering closed doors can be confusing because it often feels like rejection. You might feel as though your hard work, dedication, or even prayers have been in vain. You might wonder why God allowed you to invest your time and energy into something that didn't work out. But what seems like rejection is often God's protection. He sees what you cannot see. He knows the dangers, distractions, or dead ends that lie beyond that closed door. By shutting it, He spares you from heartache, missteps, or situations that could derail His plan for your life. Closed doors can take many forms. They might appear as missed opportunities, jobs you didn't get, promotions that passed you by, or business ventures that failed to take off. They might show up in relationships, friendships that fade, partnerships that end, or romantic connections that don't work out. Sometimes the closed door is a dream you've held on to for years, something you've worked tirelessly for, only to watch it slip away. In each of these scenarios, the temptation is to dwell on what was lost or to keep knocking on the door, hoping it will reopen. But God doesn't close doors arbitrarily. He closes them to guide you toward the doors He has prepared for you. When a door closes, it often feels abrupt. It catches you off guard, leaving you scrambling to understand why. This is because we tend to rely on our own plans, assuming that what we've envisioned is the best path forward. But God's plans are higher than ours, and His timing is perfect. When He closes a door, it's because He has something greater waiting on the other side. The challenge is trusting that truth in the moment, especially when the closed door feels like a setback. It's in these moments that faith is tested and trust in God's sovereignty becomes essential. A closed door can also be an answer to prayer. even if it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes we pray for God's will in our lives without realizing that His will might mean letting go of something we've been holding on to tightly. The closed door is His way of saying, this is not for you. It's a form of redirection, steering you away from what you thought you needed and toward what He knows is best. It's not always easy to accept, especially when the door that closes represents something you deeply desired. But over time, you begin to see that God's plan is always for your good, even when it requires walking away from what you thought was right. Closed doors can also reveal where we've placed our trust. When we face rejection or loss, it forces us to confront whether we've been relying on our own strength, skills, or resources rather than leaning on God. It's in these moments of uncertainty that we're reminded of our dependence on Him. A closed door can strip away our illusions of control, bringing us back to a place of surrender. It's a humbling experience, but it's also a necessary one. All through it, God teaches us to trust His guidance, even when the path ahead isn't clear. Sometimes a closed door is about timing. The opportunity itself may not be wrong, but the timing isn't right. God might close a door temporarily to prepare you for what's to come. During this waiting period, He works on your character, faith, and readiness. He refines you, equipping you with the skills, knowledge, or maturity you'll need in the next season. This process can be frustrating because it requires patience and trust. You might feel like you're in a holding pattern, stuck between where you were and where you're going. But the waiting period is not wasted time. It's a season of preparation, and the closed door is part of that process. Closed doors also create space for God to work in ways you didn't expect. When one door closes, it often sets off a chain reaction of events that lead to opportunities you never could have imagined. What feels like a loss in the moment is actually making room for something greater. The disappointment of a closed door is often the catalyst for new beginnings, new relationships, or new paths that align more closely with God's purpose for your life. It's a reminder that His plans are always better than ours, even when we can't see the full picture. Another important aspect of closed doors is the growth they produce. When a door closes, it forces you to reevaluate your priorities, goals, and desires. It challenges you to ask deeper questions about your purpose and calling. This process of self-reflection can be uncomfortable, but it's also transformative. It pushes you to grow in ways you wouldn't have if the door had remained open. Through the challenges and setbacks, you develop resilience, faith, and a deeper understanding of God's character. The closed door becomes a tool for refinement, shaping you into the person God created you to be. Closed doors also teach us about obedience. There are times when God closes a door and we're tempted to force it back open. We may try to push ahead, convincing ourselves that we know better. But this only leads to frustration and exhaustion. Obedience means trusting that God's no is just as important as His yes. It means letting go of our own agenda and submitting to His will. This kind of surrender isn't easy, but it's necessary if we want to walk in alignment with His purpose. The closed door is a test of our willingness to follow His lead, even when it's not the path we would have chosen. There's also a sense of protection that comes with closed doors. Sometimes we don't realize the danger or harm that lies beyond the opportunities we're chasing. We see only what's on the surface, while God sees the full picture. He knows what's best for us, and He acts out of His love and care. The closed door is His way of shielding us from situations, people, or decisions that could lead us away from His plan. It's a reminder that His perspective is infinite, while ours is limited. Trusting His protection means believing that He has our best interests at heart, even when the path forward isn't clear. Closed doors can also be a sign of God's provision. When one door closes, it often paves the way for a new one to open. But sometimes we can't see the new door because we're too focused on the one that's shut. It's only when we let go of what's behind us that we're able to step into the opportunities ahead. God's provision is always perfectly timed, even when it feels like we're waiting longer than we'd like. The closed door is part of His plan to position us exactly where we need to be at exactly the right moment. In the midst of closed doors, it's important to remember that God's ways are higher than ours. What feels like an ending is often the beginning of something greater. The closed door is not a sign of failure, but a step in the process of stepping into His purpose. It's an opportunity to grow, to trust, and to lean into His plans for your life. It's a reminder that his guidance is perfect and that he is always working for your good. When God is leading you into a new season, one of the clearest signs is the arrival of new opportunities you didn't expect. These opportunities often appear suddenly without warning and in ways that don't align with your plans. They might come at a time when you feel unprepared or when you're focused on something entirely different. These unexpected shifts are not coincidences, they are divine appointments. God uses these moments to open doors that align with his purpose for your life, redirecting your steps and positioning you where he needs you to be. These new opportunities may come in various forms. It could be a job offer you weren't seeking, a chance meeting with someone who brings a fresh perspective, or an invitation to participate in something that challenges and excites you. At first glance, these opportunities might not seem significant. They may appear small or even inconvenient. But as you lean into them, you begin to see how they fit into the larger picture of what God is orchestrating. He often starts with what seems ordinary and turns it into something extraordinary. One of the remarkable things about these opportunities is how they align with your prayers, even when you didn't know what to ask for. You may have been praying for clarity, direction, or breakthrough, and suddenly an opportunity arises that answers those prayers in ways you couldn't have imagined. God's timing is perfect, and these moments often come when you're ready, even if you don't feel prepared. They are a testament to his ability to provide exactly what you need, exactly when you need it, even if it doesn't look the way you expect it. Sometimes these new opportunities require a leap of faith. They might pull you out of your comfort zone, asking you to take risks or step into roles that feel unfamiliar. This can be intimidating, especially if the opportunity seems too big or beyond your current abilities. But God doesn't call you to opportunities based on your qualifications. He calls you based on his purpose. If he has opened the door, he will equip you with everything you need to walk through it. These moments are not about your strength, but about his power working through you. New opportunities often come with a sense of divine confirmation. You might notice that everything seems to align in ways that you couldn't orchestrate on your own. The right people show up at the right time, resources become available, and obstacles that once seemed insurmountable begin to move. These are signs that God's hand is on the situation, guiding you toward his will. It's a reminder that you're not walking this path alone. He is actively working on your behalf, clearing the way and providing for your needs. These opportunities may also come disguised as challenges. What initially looks like a problem or disruption might actually be a door opening to something greater. God often uses difficulties to shift our perspective and direct our steps. He knows that we're more likely to seek him and trust him when we're faced with uncertainty. In these moments, what seems like a setback is actually a setup for the new season he's calling you into. It's an invitation to trust his plan, even when you can't see the full picture. Another key aspect of these new opportunities is that they often align with your God-given gifts and passions. They may tap into talents or abilities you've overlooked or underestimated. As you step into these opportunities, you begin to see how God has been preparing you all along. The experiences, skills, and lessons you've accumulated in previous seasons suddenly make sense. They become tools that God uses to equip you for the new season ahead. It's a reminder that nothing in your life is wasted. Every moment has been part of his preparation. These opportunities can also serve as a confirmation of your calling. They might align with dreams or desires you've held in your heart for years, even if you didn't fully understand them. God has a way of awakening those desires at the right time, using them to draw you closer to his purpose. As these opportunities unfold, you begin to see how they connect to the deeper calling he has placed on your life. They bring clarity and direction, showing you the next step in your journey. Stepping into new opportunities often requires courage. It means letting go of the familiar and embracing the unknown. This can be challenging, especially if you're someone who prefers stability and predictability. But God doesn't call you to stay where it's safe. He calls you to step out in faith. These moments are an opportunity to trust him, to believe that he knows what's best for you, and that he will guide you every step of the way. They are a chance to experience his faithfulness in new and profound ways. In the process of stepping into these opportunities, you might face resistance or doubt. You may question whether you're capable or whether the opportunity is truly from God. This is where discernment becomes crucial. Spend time in prayer, seeking his guidance and asking for wisdom. Pay attention to how the opportunity aligns with his word and his character. Look for confirmation through scripture, trusted mentors, or a sense of peace that comes from knowing you're in his will. God is not a God of confusion. If he has opened a door, he will make it clear. It's also important to remain open to the unexpected. God's opportunities don't always come packaged the way we expect. They might look different from what you envisioned or take you in a direction you hadn't considered. This is why it's essential to stay flexible and willing to adapt. Be open to his leading, even if it doesn't match your plans. Trust that his ways are higher than yours and that he sees the bigger picture. The opportunities he provides are always better than anything you could create on your own. These new opportunities also come with the responsibility. When God opens a door, it's an invitation to step into his purpose and make an impact for his kingdom. It's not just about personal gain or success, it's about being a vessel for his work. As you embrace these opportunities, remember to keep your focus on him. Seek his guidance in every decision and remain humble and obedient to his will. These moments are not about you, they are about what he wants to do through you. Sometimes the opportunities God presents may seem small or insignificant at first. You might be tempted to overlook them or dismiss them as unimportant. But don't underestimate the power of small beginnings. God often starts with something small to test your faithfulness and prepare you for greater things. Be diligent in the opportunities he places before you, no matter how small they may seem. Trust that he is using them to build something far greater than you can imagine. As you walk through these new opportunities, you may also experience a sense of fulfillment and joy. There's something deeply satisfying about stepping into the plans God has for you. It's a reminder that you were created for a purpose and that he is working all things together for your good. Even in the challenges and uncertainties, there is a peace that comes from knowing you're walking in alignment with his will. It's a peace that surpasses all understanding, a reminder that you are exactly where he wants you to be. When God is leading you into a new season, one of the most profound signs is that you start to feel a strong sense of restlessness. This restlessness isn't the same as impatience or dissatisfaction with your current circumstances. Instead, it's a deeper stirring in your spirit, a quiet but persistent nudge that something is changing. It's as though you can sense that the chapter you're in is drawing to a close and a new one is about to begin. This feeling is often accompanied by a longing for more, a yearning for growth, purpose, or something beyond what you've known. This restlessness can manifest in various ways. You might find that activities, relationships, or responsibilities that once brought you joy no longer feel fulfilling. The things that used to excite or motivate you now feel routine or even draining. This isn't to say that you've lost your gratitude or appreciation for these aspects of your life, but rather that your heart is being drawn elsewhere. It's as though God is gently loosening your grip on the current season to prepare you for what's ahead. This process can be confusing and even uncomfortable because it challenges you to let go of the familiar and trust that he is guiding you towards something greater. The restlessness you feel is often a signal that God is stirring new desires within you. These desires may come in the form of dreams, goals, or ideas that you can't shake no matter how much you try to dismiss them. They might feel overwhelming or impossible, yet they ignite a spark in your spirit. These desires are not random, they are divinely planted seeds meant to grow and flourish in the next season of your life. They are God's way of drawing your attention to what he has prepared for you, inviting you to step into the purpose he has designed for you. As this restlessness grows, you may also notice a shift in your perspective. Things that once seemed important or necessary begin to lose their hold on you. You start to question your priorities, values, and even your identity. This is not a sign of discontentment, but rather a sign of transformation. God is reshaping your mindset, aligning your heart with his will. He is helping you see beyond the temporary and focus on the eternal. This shift in perspective is essential for the new season because it prepares you to let go of what no longer serves his purpose in your life. This restlessness often comes with a sense of anticipation, a feeling that something new is on the horizon. You may not know exactly what it is, but you can sense that change is coming. This anticipation is both exciting and unsettling because it requires faith. You are stepping into the unknown, trusting that God's plans for you are good, even if you can't see the full picture. This is where your relationship with him becomes even more vital. As you lean into his presence, he provides the peace and reassurance you need to navigate the uncertainty. At times, the restlessness may feel like a burden. You might find yourself questioning why you can't simply be content with where you are. You might wonder if you're being ungrateful or if you're chasing something unattainable. But this restlessness is not a flaw or a weakness, it is a gift. It is God's way of calling you to more, of reminding you that you were created for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. It's a sign that he is at work in your life, moving you toward the next chapter of his plan. This sense of restlessness can also be accompanied by a season of pruning. As God prepares you for what's next, he begins to remove the things in your life that no longer align with his purpose. This might include habits, relationships, or commitments that have become distractions or hindrances. This pruning process can be painful because it requires letting go of things you may have grown attached to, but it is necessary for growth. Just as a gardener prunes a plant to encourage healthy growth, God removes what is no longer serving you so that you can flourish in the new season. During this time, you may also experience a deepening of your spiritual hunger. The restlessness in your spirit often drives you to seek God more earnestly. You find yourself drawn to prayer, worship, and his word in ways you haven't before. This hunger is not accidental. It is God's way of drawing you closer to him. He knows that the new season requires a deeper level of faith, trust, and intimacy with him. As you pursue him, he reveals more of himself to you, equipping you for the journey ahead. This restlessness may also bring moments of doubt or fear. The unknown is always intimidating, and stepping into a new season requires leaving behind the security of what you've known. You might question whether you're ready or capable of handling what God is calling you to. These doubts are natural, but they are also an opportunity to grow in faith. God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. As you trust him, he provides the strength, wisdom, and resources you need to step into the new season with confidence. One of the most challenging aspects of this restlessness is the waiting. Often the feeling that change is coming arrives long before the change itself. This waiting period can be frustrating because it feels like you're in limbo, caught between the old and the new. But the waiting is not wasted time. It is a season of preparation, a time for God to refine your character, strengthen your faith, and align your heart with his will. It is in the waiting that you learn to trust his timing and surrender your plans to his greater purpose. As this restlessness continues to grow, you may begin to notice divine signs and confirmations that God is indeed leading you into a new season. These signs might come through scripture, sermons, conversations, or even seemingly random events that resonate deeply with your spirit. Pay attention to these moments. They are God's way of reassuring you that you're on the right path. They are reminders that he is with you, guiding you every step of the way. This sense of restlessness can also serve as a catalyst for action. As you feel the stirrings of change, you may find yourself taking steps toward the new season, even if they are small or tentative. These steps are acts of faith, a way of saying yes to God's calling. They demonstrate your willingness to follow his lead, even when you don't have all the answers. Each step brings you closer to the purpose he has for you, building your confidence and trust in his plan. The restlessness you feel is not something to ignore or suppress. It is a divine invitation to partner with God in the work he is doing in your life. It is a sign that he is moving, that he is calling you to more. Embrace this feeling even when it's uncomfortable or confusing. Trust that God is at work, shaping you, preparing you, and leading you into the next chapter of his plan for your life. When God is leading you into a new season, one of the unmistakable signs is the presence of unusual favor. This favor is not something you can earn or achieve on your own. It is a divine gift that opens doors, creates opportunities, and positions you for the next phase of your journey. It is God's hand upon your life, working in ways that defy explanation and logic. This kind of favor often comes when you least expect it, appearing in moments where human effort alone could never accomplish what is unfolding. It is a clear indication that God is orchestrating events and aligning circumstances to guide you into his purpose. Unusual favor manifests in various forms, and one of the most common ways it shows up is through people. You may find that certain individuals are suddenly drawn to help you, support you, or advocate for you, often without any clear reason. These people might not even know why they feel compelled to assist you, but their actions pave the way for opportunities you couldn't access on your own. This favor might come through mentors, leaders, or even strangers who step into your life at the exact moment you need them. These divine connections are not accidental. They are part of God's plan to move you into the new season he has prepared for you. Another way unusual favor reveals itself is through circumstances that seem to work in your favor against all odds. You may encounter situations where obstacles that seemed insurmountable are suddenly removed, or challenges that appeared daunting are resolved effortlessly. These moments serve as a reminder that God's favor is not dependent on your ability, but on his sovereignty. It is his way of showing you that he is in control and that his plans for your life cannot be thwarted by human limitations or challenges. When doors that were once closed begin to swing open, it is a sign that God is leading you forward. This favor often comes with a sense of acceleration. Things that normally take years to accomplish may happen in a fraction of the time. Projects, relationships, or goals that seem to be moving slowly can suddenly gain momentum, propelling you forward at an unexpected pace. This acceleration is not about rushing or striving. It is about God's timing aligning perfectly with his purpose for your life. It is a supernatural shift that demonstrates his ability to do more in a moment than you could achieve in a lifetime of effort. This is not about luck or coincidence. It is about God's favor positioning you exactly where he wants you to be. Unusual favor can also manifest through financial provision. You may experience unexpected blessings that meet your needs in ways you didn't anticipate. This could be a financial breakthrough, an unexpected gift, or a new opportunity that brings resources into your life. These moments are not just about material provision. They are a reminder of God's faithfulness and his ability to provide for his children. They show you that he sees your needs and is committed to equipping you for the journey ahead. This provision often comes at just the right time, affirming that you are on the path he has set before you. This favor is not limited to external circumstances. It also works within you. You may find yourself experiencing a new level of confidence, peace, or clarity that enables you to navigate the challenges of stepping into a new season. This internal shift is part of God's favor, equipping you with the strength and wisdom you need to move forward. It is his way of reminding you that you are not walking this journey alone. He is with you, guiding and empowering you every step of the way. This inner transformation is a key aspect of the favor he bestows, as it prepares you to steward the opportunities he places before you. One of the most remarkable aspects of unusual favor is how it often comes in unexpected ways. You might find blessings in places you never thought to look or experience breakthroughs in areas you had given up on. This favor is a reminder that God's ways are higher than your ways and his thoughts higher than your thoughts. He operates outside of human understanding, working behind the scenes to bring about his purposes. This unpredictability can be both humbling and awe-inspiring, as it shows you just how much he cares about every detail of your life. The favor you experience in a new season often comes with a sense of confirmation. As you walk through open doors and encounter divine opportunities, you begin to see how everything is aligning with God's plan. This confirmation may come through scripture, prayer, or the encouragement of others who see God's hand at work in your life. It is a reassurance that you are on the right path and that the favor you are experiencing is not a coincidence, but a clear indication of his guidance. This confirmation strengthens your faith and gives you the courage to continue moving forward, even when the journey feels uncertain. While unusual favor is a blessing, it also comes with responsibility. God's favor is not given for personal gain or self-promotion. It is meant to fulfill his purpose and bring glory to his name. As you experience this favor, it is essential to remain humble and focused on him. Remember that the opportunities and blessings you receive are not about you, but about what God wants to accomplish through you. This perspective keeps you grounded and ensures that you steward his favor in a way that honors him and blesses others. This favor can also serve as a reminder of God's faithfulness in past seasons. As you reflect on the ways he has shown up for you before, you begin to recognize the patterns of his provision and guidance. This reflection builds your confidence in his ability to lead you into the new season, even when the path ahead feels unclear. It is a reminder that he is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and that his favor is not dependent on your circumstances, but on his unchanging character. Unusual favor often attracts attention, and not all of it will be positive. As God elevates you and opens doors, you may encounter opposition or criticism from others who don't understand what he is doing in your life. This resistance is a natural part of walking in his favor, as it often challenges the status quo and disrupts the expectations of those around you. It is important to stay focused on God and not allow the opinions of others to distract you from his purpose. His favor is not about pleasing people, but about fulfilling his plan. This favor can also test your faith and obedience. As God opens doors and provides opportunities, you may face choices that require you to trust him in new ways. These moments are an invitation to step out in faith, even when you don't have all the answers. They challenge you to rely on his wisdom rather than your own understanding and to follow his lead, even when the path feels uncertain. This testing is not meant to discourage you, but to refine you, preparing you for the greater responsibilities and blessings of the new season. Unusual favor is a sign of God's presence and involvement in your life. It is a reminder that he is actively working on your behalf, orchestrating events and aligning circumstances to accomplish his will. This favor is not about striving or earning his approval. It is a gift that reflects his love and grace. As you experience this favor, take time to acknowledge his hand in your life and to express gratitude for his faithfulness. This posture of gratitude keeps your heart aligned with him and ensures that you remain open to the continued work he wants to do in and through you. When God is leading you into a new season, one of the clearest signs is the stirring of bold opportunities that challenge you to step out in faith. These opportunities often arrive with a weight of significance, feeling too aligned to be coincidental, yet too grand to pursue without God's help. They are doors that swing open in ways you couldn't have orchestrated on your own, invitations to trust in him more deeply and to embrace a purpose far greater than what you've previously known. These moments are not just about achieving a goal or seizing a chance. They are about obedience, growth, and alignment with God's plan for your life. Bold opportunities often come wrapped in uncertainty, requiring you to venture into the unknown. They may ask you to step out of your comfort zone, leave behind what is familiar, and embrace a path that is not yet fully revealed. This uncertainty can feel intimidating because it challenges your sense of control and security. However, it is in this uncertainty that God's hand becomes most evident. When you take a step of faith into the unknown, you are acknowledging that his wisdom surpasses your own and that his plans are worth pursuing, even when you cannot see the full picture. These opportunities are an invitation to trust him more deeply and to lean on his guidance every step of the way. These opportunities often come with a sense of divine timing. They appear not too early or too late, but precisely when you are ready to take the next step, even if you don't feel prepared. This timing is intentional, orchestrated by God to ensure that you are positioned for growth and success in this purpose. Sometimes the opportunities may come after a period of waiting during which God has been refining your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for what lies ahead. Other times they may arrive suddenly, catching you by surprise and requiring a quick decision. In either case, the timing is perfect because it aligns with God's plan for your life. Bold opportunities often come with challenges that stretch your faith and capacity. They may require resources, skills, or connections that you don't currently have, making it clear that you cannot accomplish them in your own strength. This is not a sign of inadequacy, but a reminder that God is the source of all you need. He calls you to rely on him, to trust that he will provide what is necessary to fulfill the opportunity he has placed before you. These challenges are not meant to discourage you, but to remind you of your dependence on him and to deepen your relationship with him in the process. These opportunities may also come with moments of doubt and fear. You might question whether you are truly capable or qualified to take on what God is presenting to you. These feelings are natural because stepping into bold opportunities often requires you to confront your insecurities and limitations. However, these doubts are also an opportunity to lean into God's promises and to remember that he does not call the equipped, he equips the called. As you step out in faith, you will begin to see how he provides the strength, wisdom, and resources you need to fulfill his purpose. Bold opportunities often come with a sense of confirmation that they are from God. This confirmation may appear through scripture, prayer, or the words of trusted mentors and friends. You may notice recurring themes or messages that affirm the direction you are being led. These confirmations are God's way of reassuring you that you are on the right path and that he is with you. They give you the courage to take the first step, even when the journey ahead feels uncertain or overwhelming. This confirmation is a reminder that God is actively involved in your life and is guiding you toward his purpose. As you encounter these opportunities, you may notice that they align with the desires and passions God has placed in your heart. They resonate deeply with your spirit, igniting a sense of excitement and purpose. This alignment is not accidental. It is a sign that God is calling you to use the gifts and talents he has given you for his glory. These opportunities often tap into your unique abilities and experiences, allowing you to contribute to his kingdom in ways that only you can. This sense of alignment is both empowering and humbling, as it reminds you that you are part of a much greater plan. These bold opportunities often come with divine provision. As you take steps of faith, you will begin to see how God provides for your needs in ways that defy explanation. This provision may come in the form of financial resources, open doors, or unexpected connections that help you move forward. It is a reminder that God is not only calling you to something greater, but also equipping you to succeed. His provision is a testament to his faithfulness and a reminder that he will never leave you or forsake you as you step into the new season. At times, these opportunities may require you to let go of something from your current season. This could be a job, relationship, or even a mindset that no longer serves God's purpose for your life. Letting go can be painful because it often involves leaving behind what is familiar and comfortable. However, it is also an act of faith, a way of saying yes to God's calling and trusting that he has something better in store. This process of letting go is not about loss, but about making room for the new blessings and opportunities that God is bringing into your life. Old opportunities also have a way of attracting opposition. As you step into what God has called you to, you may encounter resistance from people or circumstances that try to discourage or distract you. This opposition is not a sign that you are on the wrong path, rather. It is often an indication that you are moving in the right direction. The enemy may try to create doubt or fear, but these challenges are an opportunity to strengthen your faith and to stand firm in God's promises. Remember that his plans for you are good and that no weapon formed against you will prosper. These opportunities may also come with a sense of urgency, a feeling that now is the time to act. This urgency is not about rushing or striving, but about recognizing that God's timing is perfect and that he is calling you to move forward in faith. This sense of urgency is a reminder that the new season is not just about personal growth or achievement, it is about fulfilling a greater purpose. It is about stepping into the role God has designed for you and contributing to his kingdom in a meaningful way. As you embrace these bold opportunities, you may notice a deepening of your relationship with God. The process of stepping out in faith requires you to trust him in new ways and to seek his guidance continually. This intimacy with God is one of the greatest blessings of stepping into a new season. It allows you to experience his presence, provision, and power in ways that you never have before. It is a reminder that the journey is not just about the destination, but about walking closely with him every step of the way. Bold opportunities are not just about achieving a goal or fulfilling a dream, they are about transformation. They challenge you to grow in faith, character, and obedience, shaping you into the person God has called you to be. They are a reminder that you are not defined by your past or limited by your circumstances, but empowered by his grace to accomplish great things. As you step into these opportunities, you begin to see the ways in which God is working through you to bring about his purpose, not only for your life, but for the lives of those around you. When God is leading you into a new season, one of the most profound signs is a stirring in your spirit that you cannot ignore. It's not always something you can articulate clearly, but it's there a deep sense of restlessness, anticipation, or longing for something more. This stirring isn't born from dissatisfaction or mere ambition. It is a divine nudge, a signal that God is preparing to shift your life in a significant way. It's as though your spirit recognizes that the season you're in is coming to an end and that God is about to do something new. This inner stirring is both unsettling and exhilarating, a divine invitation to step into what he has planned. This stirring often begins subtly, almost like a whisper in your heart. You might feel a sense of discontent with where you are, not because things are bad, but because you sense there's more. It's a holy discontent, one that causes you to reevaluate your priorities, your path, and your purpose. This feeling can manifest in various ways, such as a desire to grow, to serve, or to pursue something that aligns more closely with God's calling for your life. It's not a feeling of failure or regret, but an awakening to the possibility of something greater. This is the Spirit of God gently urging you to prepare for a new season. As this stirring grows stronger, it often leads to a deepening of your prayer life. You find yourself seeking God's guidance more earnestly, asking him to reveal his plans and to show you the next step. This increased desire for communion with him is not coincidental. It is part of the process of aligning your heart with his will. Prayer becomes less about asking for specific outcomes and more about seeking his presence and direction. In these moments of prayer, you begin to sense his peace, even as the details of the new season remain unclear. This peace is a confirmation that the stirring you feel is from him and that he is leading you towards something that will glorify him. This stirring in your spirit often brings with it a heightened awareness of God's voice. You may notice that certain scriptures resonate with you in a new way, as though they were written specifically for your current situation. Sermons, conversations, or even seemingly random encounters may carry a message that speaks directly to your heart. These moments are not coincidences. They are God's way of affirming the stirring in your spirit and guiding you toward the path he has prepared. This heightened sensitivity to his voice is a reminder that he is actively involved in your life and that he is orchestrating every detail of the transition into the new season. At times, this stirring can feel uncomfortable because it challenges you to confront areas of your life that need to change. You may feel convicted about habits, relationships, or attitudes that are holding you back from fully embracing what God has for you. This conviction is not about condemnation, but about preparation. God is refining you, shaping you into the person you need to be for the new season he is leading you into. This process can be painful, as it often involves letting go of things that no longer serve his purpose for your life. However, it is also liberating because it clears the way for the new blessings and opportunities he has in store. This stirring often brings a sense of anticipation, a feeling that something significant is about to happen. It's a quiet excitement that keeps you looking forward, even when the details of the new season remain unclear. This anticipation is a gift from God, a way of preparing your heart for the changes to come. It gives you the courage to take the first steps of faith, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. This sense of anticipation is not rooted in wishful thinking or optimism, but in a deep trust in God's faithfulness and his ability to fulfill his promises. As this stirring intensifies, it often leads to a season of preparation. You may feel compelled to develop new skills, pursue certain opportunities, or take steps that seem unrelated to your current situation. This preparation is not random. It is God equipping you for the new season. He is aligning your experiences, relationships, and abilities with the purpose he has for you. This preparation phase can feel frustrating at times because the end goal is not always clear, but it is a vital part of the process. It is during this time that God often works behind the scenes, setting the stage for what is to come. This stirring in your spirit can also bring a sense of restlessness, a feeling that you are outgrowing your current season. This restlessness is not about impatience or dissatisfaction, but about recognizing that God is calling you to something greater. It's as though your spirit knows that the time has come to move forward, even if your mind is still processing the implications. This restlessness can be uncomfortable because it disrupts the status quo, but it is also a powerful motivator to seek God's will and to step into the new season with faith and confidence. This stirring often causes you to reevaluate your priorities and to focus more intently on what truly matters. You may find yourself letting go of distractions or commitments that no longer align with God's purpose for your life. This realignment is not about loss, but about making space for what God is bringing into your life. It is a process of refinement, a way of ensuring that you are fully prepared to embrace the new season without unnecessary baggage or distractions. This focus on what truly matters brings clarity and peace, even as the details of the new season remain uncertain. This stirring in your spirit is often accompanied by a sense of urgency, a feeling that now is the time to act. This urgency is not about rushing or forcing things to happen, but about recognizing that God's timing is perfect and that he is calling you to move forward. This sense of urgency is a reminder that the new season is not just about personal growth or achievement. It is about fulfilling a greater purpose. It is about stepping into the role God has designed for you and contributing to his kingdom in a meaningful way. This stirring is not something you can ignore or suppress because it comes from deep within your soul. It is a divine call that resonates with your very being, reminding you that you were created for a purpose greater than yourself. This call is both humbling and empowering, as it shows you that God has chosen you to play a unique role in his plan. As you respond to this stirring, you begin to see how every experience, every challenge, and every blessing has been preparing you for this moment. It is a reminder that God's plans for you are good and that He is faithful to complete the work He has begun in you. The conclusion of a speech about the 7 signs that God is leading you into a new season brings all the elements together, allowing for reflection on the journey and preparation for what lies ahead. It is a moment to step back and recognize the threads God has woven through each stage, each sign pointing to His divine purpose. From the stirring in your spirit to the divine provision, from the challenges to the bold opportunities, each sign serves as a marker of His active involvement in your life. This transition is not a coincidence or a fleeting season. It is the unfolding of His perfect plan. Every shift, every realignment, and every prompting you've experienced has been carefully orchestrated to bring you to this moment of transformation. Understanding these signs invites you to step into a deeper partnership with God. His guidance is never random, and His timing is never accidental. Every step of the way, He is preparing you for something significant, something that aligns with His purpose for your life. The signs are not merely indicators of change, but invitations to trust Him more deeply, to surrender control, and to embrace the unknown with faith. They are reminders that His plans are not just for your benefit, but for His glory. The new season He is leading you into is not only about achieving something, it is about becoming someone, a reflection of His love, grace, and power. One of the greatest gifts of recognizing God's leading is the assurance that you are never alone. Even when the journey feels uncertain, even when the challenges seem insurmountable, you can rest in the promise that He is with you. His presence is your anchor, His word your guide, and His spirit your strength. This knowledge allows you to move forward with confidence, knowing that the God who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it. The signs He gives are evidence of His faithfulness, and they serve as reminders that He is the author and finisher of your story. As you step into this new season, you may feel a mixture of emotions, excitement, anticipation, perhaps even a touch of fear. This is natural because stepping into the unknown requires courage. But it is in those moments of vulnerability that God's power is made perfect. He doesn't expect you to have all the answers or to have everything figured out. All He asks is for your willingness to trust Him, to take the next step, and to keep your eyes fixed on Him. The journey may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it because it is a journey toward His purpose for your life. The beauty of God's guidance is that it transforms not just your circumstances, but also your heart. Each sign is a tool He uses to shape you, to refine you, and to prepare you for what lies ahead. The stirring in your spirit awakens a deeper hunger for Him. The pruning of relationships and habits clears the way for growth. The challenges strengthen your faith, and the bold opportunities stretch your capacity to trust Him. Through it all, He is molding you into the person He created you to be, someone who reflects His love and walks in His purpose. When you look back on this season, you will see how every moment, every step, and every sign was part of a greater picture. What may have seemed like random events or unconnected experiences will come into focus, revealing a tapestry of God's grace and sovereignty. You will recognize how He used every joy and every trial to prepare you for the season you are entering. This perspective not only brings gratitude, but also deepens your trust in Him for the future. Knowing that He has been faithful in the past gives you confidence that He will continue to be faithful in the days to come. The journey into a new season is also an opportunity to bless others. As you walk in obedience to God's leading, your life becomes a testimony of His goodness and faithfulness. The lessons you learn, the growth you experience, and the ways He provides will inspire and encourage those around you. Your story becomes a beacon of hope, reminding others that God is at work in their lives as well. The new season is not just about what God is doing for you, it is about what He is doing through you. Your faith, your courage, and your obedience have the power to impact others in ways you may never fully understand. God's leading is never just about the destination, it is about the journey. Each step you take, each sign you follow, and each challenge you face is an opportunity to walk closely with Him. The new season is not merely a place you arrive at, but a process of becoming more like Christ, more aligned with His will, and more attuned to His voice. This journey deepens your relationship with him and reminds you that he is the greatest blessing of all. The signs are not just about pointing you in the right direction, they are about drawing you closer to the one who holds the plan. As you move forward, hold on to the truth that God's plans for you are good. They are plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. Even when the path feels uncertain, even when the challenges seem great, you can rest in the assurance that he is in control. He sees the end from the beginning, and he knows exactly what you need to fulfill his purpose for your life. Trusting in his plans allows you to release your fears, embrace the unknown, and walk boldly into the new season. This moment of transition is sacred because it marks the beginning of something new, something God ordained and God led. It is a time to celebrate his faithfulness, to thank him for his guidance, and to commit yourself fully to his will. The signs he has given you are evidence of his love and his desire to see you flourish. They are reminders that you are his, that you are chosen, and that you are equipped for the season ahead. As you step into this new chapter, carry with you the lessons of the past, the promises of his word, and the hope of his purpose. Ultimately, the journey into a new season is a journey of faith. It is a journey of trusting in a God who is infinitely good, infinitely wise, and infinitely loving. It is about saying yes to his call, even when the path is unclear, and trusting that he will make a way. It is about surrendering your plans to his, knowing that his ways are higher and his thoughts are greater. It is about walking forward, not in your own strength, but in the strength that comes from him. It is about embracing the adventure of following a God who is always faithful, always present, and always leading you into something greater. So as you stand on the threshold of this new season, take a moment to acknowledge the signs God has placed before you. Reflect on the journey that has brought you here and thank him for his guidance, his provision, and his faithfulness. Let go of the fears and doubts that seek to hold you back, and step forward with confidence, knowing that the one who has called you is faithful. This is your moment, your season, your divine appointment. Trust in his plan, walk in his purpose, and embrace the new season with faith, hope, and expectation. God is leading you, and he will never let you walk alone. Now, I know stepping into a new season can feel scary. The unknown is intimidating, but let me remind you, you serve a God who never fails. He didn't bring you this far to leave you. When he leads, he provides. When he calls, he equips. So if you're seeing these signs, don't resist. Step out in faith. The same God who made a way for Moses at the Red Sea is making a way for you. The same God who took David from the pasture to the palace is about to elevate you. Your new season is coming. Walk into it boldly. Trust him completely. And know this, the best is yet to come. Thank you.